Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei was cheated and became Red Dragon of Remnant Part 6. Before we start, please go support ZBX6779 for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. Part 15. Changing Sides. The XD Universe. Irina is currently in the Hiaudo household with Issei's parents. They came back from vacation and still adjusting to the emptiness. Luckily Irina is there, so say a few verses here and there, and it brings them some semblance of peace. Office would check on them, spend time with them. She followed Issei's advice about enjoying life, and she liked it. Food, music, traveling, etc. Azazel is just throwing himself into his work, volley spars with anyone he can, but there's no thrill. Arthur and La Fei join the devils, but choose to remain human and teach magic, combat and manners to kids in Sona's school. Kuroka stays in Kyoto. She's still upset about what her sister did to Issei. Yusaka and her daughter Kano are just as upset. Biku is on his own for a while. Sona didn't replace Saji, but she and her peerage don't even think about visiting him because they are still very angry. Tsubaki no longer cares for Kiba and is forming a bond with one of the pawns in her team. Regulus is forced to leave his master but stays with the Bale clan. Asia lives with the 11 now who are still tormented inside. Sarag isn't as muscular as he used to be, they hardly eat, their familiars are their only comfort. They don't get any visitors, not even from the Gremory, Bale, Citri and Phoenix clans. They send some supplies via mail, and nothing more. The 12 are growing their own food little by little. Milikus is now the heir to the Gremory household. Serzichus tries to be strong, but when he's alone, he completely breaks down. Grafia feels the same way. Serzichus. I failed horribly, sniffed out, all this power being a devil king useless. Instead of having Issei as his brother-in-law, he's stuck with 10 cheaters as his brothers and sisters-in-law, a fitting punishment for them, but he feels like he's being punished too for his failure. The children of the supernatural are still upset about the disappearance of their idol. The DXD universe felt dull without Issei. Riser's peerage is now under the wing of Ruval Phoenix, aka the eldest son of the Phoenix clan. He treated them well, better than Riser did when he was an arrogant prick. Irina was praying for Issei's recovery and that he comes home soon. She has a moment of weakness every now and then. Irina. Office, please take me to Issei, I need to know if he's okay. Office. Irina, I understand how you feel, but he needs time, as I've said before, he'll come back when he's ready. Irina. But Office. I'll make a deal with you. Should he need help, then I'll take you with me. Seeing you will help. Irina. Deal. The underworld created a statue in his honor, under it there is an engraving. We miss you and we hope you come home soon. In Remnant. Issei is looking at the dust forest, it's still growing. He's happy to see that. Greg. Issei, I have some good news. Issei. Do tell. Greg. Your transformation has slowed down. Issei. Nice. Greg. Agreed. Issei. Sai Weiss is going to sing again at an open concert today. She says she got 2 new songs. Greg. Her voice is like that of a siren. Tempting and elegant. Issei. Only without the lure to your death factor. Greg. True. He flies to the concert and shortly after that it begins. Weiss is on stage and starts singing. Ren was asked to join her for the next song. Nora was head over heels for him, the people cheered for them. Issei was watching from above, smoking a cigarette through the teeth on his mask, and every time he exhaled, he looked like a dragon that's ready to burn you. Weiss and Ruby sang as well. Weiss, Ruby and Weiss. There are other people who sang too. Hera convinced John to sing too. John, Hera just couldn't help but run up on stage and kiss him. The concert is live for all of Remnant to see. Both John's and Pura's family see this. They are so proud and happy for them, although Pura's father wants to meet John and gave a little talk with a shotgun by his side. Flint and his friends played a song or two using his saxophone. Weiss literally used her balance breaker and picked Issei up and threw him on the stage. Yang was trying to stop her, only to be thrown on the stage too while she sat on the piano. Weiss. Time to break you out of your shell like you got me out of mine. The crowd is looking at them, and Weiss starts playing. Yang. Shall we? Issei. Sigh, sure. He took off his mask. The two catch their breath and look at each other and high-five. They and Weiss take a bow and leave the stage. Cinder, Emerald, Mercury and Hazel are watching the concert live. After it ends, Cinder is angry seeing John. He's the one who cut off her arm. She remembers that day vividly. She is now far more cautious about her eye and her arm. If her other eye got damaged or her limbs stopped working, then she would feel completely helpless. Right now she is happy that she can still function. She still uses her obsidian arm for everyday tasks and is getting good at it. She too grew out her hair and covers the left side of her face. Volume 1 style. Mercury and Emerald are arguing a lot less now. Hazel feels like he has 3 siblings. He does miss Gretchen a lot. He still plans on killing Osmond for that. After closing time, they clean up. Hazel is showing a bit of anger. Mercury. You okay, Hazel? Hazel. I'm angry. Mercury. Still planning on killing Osmond. Hazel. Yes, and don't even think about stopping me. Mercury. I couldn't even if I wanted to. Hazel. Emerald. Guys, what do we do about Salem? I want to stop her. Mercury. Same here, getting revenge is one thing, but destroying Remnant. Such a stupid endgame. Cinder. Maybe we should join the other side. The three look at her in surprise. Mercury. I think the alcohol fumes are making you intoxicated. I'm gonna make you some coffee. He makes a lat for her. He gives it to her. Emerald's jaw hits a floor and she starts drooling. Emerald. That looks so good. Cinder. Thank you, but I'm thinking more clearly than ever. Salem only used us while Ironwood and the rest are working together. They changed everything for the better and have two of the relics. I'm thinking about helping them get the third. Maybe they can finally put an end to her. Emerald. It's not a bad idea. After working here without anyone after us, no need to steal or kill, it feels good. Mercury makes more coffee for Emerald and Hazel. Mercury. I only killed my old man for being less than human. He stole my semblance as soon as I unlocked it. Hazel. What was it? Mercury. High jumps, I could leap from building to building if I still had it. Emerald. Cool. Cinder. Looks like Mercury and I are similar in that regard. This is good coffee. Mercury. Thanks, I've been practicing. You too, here are your cups. Hazel and Emerald take their cups, thank him and enjoy it. Emerald takes photos of her lad art. Hazel. So about joining those who basically kicked out asses. Cinder. That's on me. I lied to you all, and though we could kill them and get the relic, I severely underestimated them. I killed Tyrion out of spite. Mercury. Good thing you did, Salem is ruthless and she would have told him to kill us as soon as we were done with our parts. Emerald. I always feared that. Hazel. So are we defecting from Salem? Are we all in agreement? Emerald and Mercury nod. Cinder. I suppose so. Mercury. There are a few things we need to think about, mainly if they will even listen to us before trying to kill us. Also, two of them severed your arm and eye, you have reason to attack them and they know that. Cinder. They might listen if I tell them that we want her gone too and that we can help get the relic, and I am angry about my arm and eye, but that was my fault. I only expected Osmond there, not 3 students. That Nikos girl is a natural with the maiden powers. Emerald. And if they use us too? Cinder. We run, I guess. They are too strong. Hazel. That winged front is he didn't want to kill the ones attacking Beacon 2 years ago. He told everyone to go home. He chooses to avoid bloodshed if possible. Cinder. So if we just talk to them then maybe they'll listen. We and they know that the 4 of us can't win against them, just one of them can take us down. That Schnee princess took on one of the Aesops and won. She and her friends graduated early, they are fully fledged huntsmen, they have the other Fall Maiden, the Winter Maiden and the Branwen twins, missiles that destroyed Salem's forces repeatedly, and who knows what else. Hazel. That's not all. That devil of Beacon, he's something else. After he single-handedly defeated the invaders he scared away the Grim. They look at him as chills go up their spines. Mercury. What are you talking about? Grim are attracted to fear and other negative emotions. How did they feel fear? Hazel. I'm not sure if I was seeing things, but I was watching the live stream. He stood there and I saw a red dragon behind him. Emerald. It might have been real, look at this. She plays the video she made of him in the Forever Full Forest, completely destroying Cardin and his goons. Emerald. I didn't edit anything, his speed and strength is no joke, and that's not all. There's someone else out there in red armor who did this to Adam Taurus even with Salem's enhancements. She shows the pictures of Adam's head on fire. Hazel. Though he could take on the devil of Beacon, but he's not the only powerful individual out there. Emerald and Mercury look at each other. Cinder spoke up. Cinder. Let's go to Atlas and find out. Issei went his separate way and he's at an indoor artificial hot springs. He's soaking in the hot water, having drink and just overall relaxing. He's enjoying his time off and it reminds him of his days back in the DxD verse. Issei. I wonder if the others are okay. Greg. Whom are you referring to? Issei. Mom, Dad, Irina and everyone else, I do miss them. Greg. Do you want to go back? Issei. Let's stop Salem first. Offa saved our universe, she gave me a fresh start here and I'm going to turn Remnant into a whole. She selected this world specifically, it's nice here. The air is clean, no real pollution, the people have abilities that vary and I fit right in. It's like a home away from home. Greg. Remnant into a whole. Another pun. Issei. No pun intended, but yes she would. He hears the door open and sees Yang enter wearing a robe and nothing more. They look at each other for a second, Yang turns red while Issei just turns around, his back is facing her. Yang. Sorry I thought this room was vacant. Issei. It is now. I'm done anyway. The bath is all yours. He gets out of the bath and Yang sees him wearing swimming trunks. She really wants to enjoy the bath and to spend some time with Issei, whom is currently looking like a dreamboat when all soaked. She stops him. Yang. You wear swimming trunks to a bath. There's a story behind that, Issei. There is. I'll tell you another time, so for now, this room is all yours. Yang. Wait, we both have little time before we're on the clock again, and the other baths are occupied, so we can share if you're okay with that. Issei. Yang, if someone saw us here then they'll get the wrong idea. Yang. I don't care what people think, we're both adults. Besides, you did come here just a few moments before I did intrude here. Issei. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. Yang. Dude, I shoved your head in my chest when we meet in the Emerald Forest. Remember? Issei. HMP. Haha, yeah. You're a bold one, Yang. Yang. Want me to do it again? Issei. I think you have a bigger concern. Yang. What might that be? Issei. You can't wear a robe in the bath, and at least I came prepared. Did you? Yang realized something, she's wearing a robe and only that. She feels embarrassed. Yang. Crap. Issei. Tell you what, we can stay back to back. No one sees anything they shouldn't. Yang. I like that idea. Issei kept his eyes closed and got into the water. Yang removed her robe and got in as well, they were back to back. Issei. How's the water? Yang. It's perfect. How did you think of this? Issei. Back home there are some natural underground hot springs. I thought, hey, there's plenty of snow and fire dust, why not put them together and create this? And that's what we have here. Yang. Great idea. I feel so relaxed. Issei. Where did you come from? Issei. From Kuo. Yang. Never heard of it. Issei. Not all of Remnant is mapped. You won't find it, so don't waste time looking it up. Yang. Oh, I would have loved to see it. Issei. How's your arm? Yang. It feels better than ever. How are you feeling? The scales cover your left torso. Does it hurt? Issei. It's itchy but bearable. Want to have a drink with me? Yang. Sure. I'd like that. He gives her a beer and plays some music. They talk, laugh, drink and relax. Yang leans back a bit and rests her head on his shoulder. He doesn't mind it. 10 minutes go by and Issei noticed she hasn't moved much and stops the music. Issei. Don't fall asleep. Okay, Yang. Yang. Sure. Issei. You're already falling asleep. Yang. I can't help it. It's so relaxing here with you. Snores. Issei. Hey, wake up. Yang. 5 more minutes. Snores. Issei. Oh, for the love of hehe, evil smirk. He picked an ice dust scale from his arm and crushed it, sprinkles it on her wet face, and all that moisture immediately turns into ice. Yang. Kiaiaiai. She immediately puts her iced face in the warm water, and the ice starts to melt as she rubs it. She lifts her head and takes a deep breath. Yang. Issei, that was really mean. I can't feel my face when I'm with you, either it's the cold rooftops, flying, but now I can add this to the list. Issei. That was actually ice cold and I told you to stay awake. You could have drowned. Yang. Still I can't feel my face. Issei. Just keep your face warm. Yang. And I know a better way than the water. Issei. Want me to use fire dust next? Yang. Nope. She nudges her ice-cold face into his neck. She puts her arms around him, scales on one side, skin and muscle on the other. Her body is pressed against his. Issei. Yang, I endured the ice-cold terrain on our way to Argus and every second of Atlas. You really thought that would work? She remembers how he walked along in the cold and using his wings as a shield for Maria. His flights and time on the roof of Atlas Academy. Yang. Oh yeah, you win this time. Hick. Issei. Is she drunk already? This feels kind of familiar. Issei. So are you going to get your face out of my neck? Yang. Can I just stay like this with you? Hick. Issei. Sigh, you're drunk. Yang. And you're hexy. She let go of him and then got in front of him. Her face is completely red. Issei places his hand on her forehead and feels her temperature. She's going to have a heat stroke if she stays in here any longer. Before he could utter a single word, she grabbed his hand and placed it on the side of her face. Her eyes are closed and inhaled and enjoyed the sensation. Yang. Your hand is so warm and gentle. Hick. Issei. As are yours. She smiled and opened her eyes. Her lilac eyes are worth getting lost in, but noticed a hint of red in them. He looked a little closer, but Yang, though he was about to kiss her. She leans closer and closer to him for a kiss, but he stops her. Issei. You're drunk and starting to burn up. Let's get you out of here. He stands up, grabs her robe, holds it up and wide. Yang barely manages to stand and puts it on. Issei puts on his robe. Yang prefers to see him shirtless, but alas, she got to see enough. She can barely stand, so he put her arm over his shoulder and held her by her side. He carried her over to a cooler room with chairs and sofas that are there exactly for this reason. He lays her on the sofa and he sits on a chair. A little while later she's cooled off. Issei. Feeling better? Yang. Yeah. Much better. How come you're not affected? Issei. Dragons are tough. You've seen that firsthand. Yang. Oh yeah. Issei. You know if you were a dragon then you'd be really deadly. Yang. Oh. Issei. Your semblance would suit a dragon, your pride and your desire to protect your loved ones are two more traits that most dragons possess. Your resilience is another. Yang. Really? Issei. Yup. You're essentially a dragon living in a human body, you know what? I hereby declare you as a fellow dragon, my heart and soul. Yang. Guess my nickname Sunny Dragon is earned now. Issei. Yup. You're not drunk anymore. Yang. Yeah, I feel fine. I did have a bit of a buzz going but not anymore. Issei. Looks like you can handle your liquor. You're a dragon alright. Yang. Haha, well I'm just built different. Issei. Stealing my lines now. Yang. Maybe what are you gonna do about it? Issei. Stealing from a dragon is a battle cry if you're strong, suicide if you're weak. Yang. We haven't spared in a while so let's do it. Issei. You'll be sweaty all over and you just had a bath. Yang. Then we can have another one together. Issei. Smooth. They put on their clothes, go outside and start sparring. Yang has both gauntlets full of ammo made from the new dust. Issei noticed her punches and kicks have way more power behind them, she's faster too and is keeping up with him. He can deflect her shots, but her close combat is different, she's as strong as him when he promotes to Rook. Issei. She wasn't this strong last time we fought. Yang. What's the matter Issei? Getting weaker? Issei. Nope, just holding back. He promoted to Queen and then he gave her a challenge. Yang. Just how strong are you? Issei. You'll know when the time is right. Now show me what you can really do. Yang activates her semblance and goes all out, she's stronger than ever and she noticed it, she's now equal to Issei in his basic queen promotion. She channels her aura into her dust bullets and it feels as natural as breathing to her, she fired every elemental shot she could at close range, Issei barely managed to dodge and looked behind him, there are pillars of stone, ice, wind and fire in the air and scorched earth from the lightning. Issei. Damn, Yang. I didn't know I could do that. Issei. You're gonna kick ass at the next Vital Festival. Yang. Only students can take part remember? Issei. Oh yeah anyways. Want to keep going? Yang. Sure. Issei. Alright then. They continue sparring, Ruby found them and joined the spar, Ruby later challenges him to a race and she was faster than before, even she doesn't know how she's improved so much so soon. There was little fatigue so they kept going, after about an hour or two did they finally hit their limit after going all out. Yang and Ruby went back to the hot springs, they invited Blake and Weiss too. Weiss. So any of you notice something different about John? Blake. Yeah he's been acting a bit different since Argus. Ruby. He prays for Cardin and his team. Yang. I've seen him do that at least once a day. It must have really got to him seeing them turned into half grim. Weiss. Yeah it was even more reason to stop Salem. Ruby. We will. She killed my mom and I'm not going to let it slide. Salem is going down. Anyway, Yang you were already here before us and so was Issei. Anything happen between you two? Yang. Not really, we chat and laugh like usual, had a drink or two. He did tell me that he's from a place called Kuo, but I never heard of it. Blake. Nor have I. Weiss. Same. Ruby. Nope. Never heard of it. Issei didn't want to get between their personal time, so he went to get lunch. The girls had fun, Ruby grew her hair out ever since she joined Atlas Academy. Weiss is still jealous of Ruby's sudden growth spurt. Raven and Crow see Ruby as an exact copy of her mother, Ruby takes great pride in that. Later Ozpin returned to Atlas after giving Glinda a raise. Bots is still hiding and awaiting orders from Salem. He looks through anything else he can use against Atlas and Mantle. He finds Penny's blueprints but can't find a way to hack her. Bots. This is indeed troublesome. He later sees a Seer Grim approach him. Bots. Your Grace, a pleasure to hear from you again. Salem. Watts I have sent my latest creation to aid you, should things become too dangerous, I want you to get to safety. Watts. Yes my lady. He bows and the Grim dies. He looks through the long-range cameras and sees a Beowulf coming towards Mantle in the distance. It suddenly leaps into the air and catches an Evermore, it consumes it and grows wings, then flies towards other Grim which run away from it. It's chasing them and plans to consume them. Watts looks on and is happy to see such a unique creature. Watts plans to make a move of his own, he sneaks into the temperature control room in Atlas which keeps Mantle warm, he knocks out the technicians via knockout gas and overrides the system, the heating system goes into overdrive. Mantle starts to heat up, the people are starting panic and chaos ensues. Alarms go off, people are trying to stay as cool as possible, but since the heating system uses the new and improved dust, the heat is too much and the system is burning up, flames erupt from the large vents, the maintenance crew divert the heat as the emergency shutdown fails. Some of the heat is sent outside the walls but not fast enough. The core under the city blows up, the center of the city cracks, and a flame jet is shooting up into the sky, it reached halfway up to Atlas. Ironwood sent Winter, Weiss and Issei along with Vine and Clover to contain it, while Raven and Purra deal with the surrounding flames. Issei, Weiss and Winter used ice dust and ice powers. Issei boosted the ice dust, Winter created an ice shield around the dust, and Weiss used a gravity glyph to send it right through the flame jet at high speeds. It went right through, but it burned up and steam is added to the flame. Vine used his semblance to create a barrier to disperse the flames to make it more manageable. Clover. Create a thicker ice barrier around your endothermic bomb. Issei. I like that name, ladies, let's do it. They created another one, but it's much bigger and thicker. Weiss and Winter both use a gravity glyph, and that sent the endo bomb straight down faster than its predecessor. It immediately extinguished the flames, but there was a lot of heat steam. The vent stopped spewing fire, but the heat was still there. The panic summoned Grimm from far and wide. There was horde of them coming towards Mantle. The people see them flying above, alarms go off, the defenses are up and guns are firing. The huntsmen are dispatched are getting the people to safety while protecting themselves and the people. Ironwood knows that Watts is the one who did this and is personally searching for him. He goes to the control room and sees the control panel. He calls for a medical team of the technicians and finds the emergency shutdown button. He presses it and the system shuts down. He then looks through the security footage. Watts couldn't have gone far and he sees a figure going through the training room. He goes after him and intercepts him. Ironwood captured Watts and had to get his left arm replaced with a prosthetic one. Half of his body is already cybernetic due to past injuries. Issei, Winter, Crow, Raven, rwby, JNPR and the Aesops are taking out the Grimm steadily, but they don't notice the Hound waiting to strike at the right moment. Robin sent her team called the Happy Huntresses to aid them. The newly graduated teams also helped out and the Grimm were taken out, but the panic just brought in even more. Ruby used her powers to petrify them. Issei fired off dragon shots outside the city and in the air. It took out the incoming Grimm and bought time for the people to get to the underground shelters. The Hound was watching and staying hidden. After a few hours, the Grimm were gone. The huntsmen and huntresses do their best to maintain order. Ironwood announced that Arthur Watts has been arrested. Watts is thrown into prison right next to Zoc. Zoc. They got you too, huh? Watts. No shit, Zoc. Oh, she is gonna be pissed about this. Zoc. Whom are you referring to? Watts. None of your concern. Now shut up and let me think. Crow. Ahem ahem. They look at Crow who is standing there. Crow. You two make a move and the floor gives out. You'll fall right into the hole you made in Mantle, so please by all means, do try to escape. I want to see you two turn into stains on the ground. He leaves them alone and laughs as he walks away. Watts and Zoc look at the floor and they look like trapdoors. Zoc. He's bluffing, right? Watts. No. Back to rwby. Ruby. Whew, that was quite the sudden attack. Weiss. Now Mantle is going to freeze, the heating system is damaged, but to what extent? Winter. I'll send a repair crew to assess the damage. Any injuries? Blake. We're fine but some people got hurt. Bren. But what was the point of this attack? Issei. No clue. Salem's crew should know that they can't beat us yet they try. John. Speaking of which, is the witch still out there? Yang. Haha. Purra. Honey, save the dad jokes for when you become a father. Issei. I think I figured out a way to kill Salem. I just need to boil some water first. They all look at him with question marks above their heads. Nora. Why? Issei. To make holy water. Nora. How? Issei. Easy, you boil the hell out of it. Yang. Wheezing, everyone else groans. Ruby. Sigh, anyone know where Penny is? Purra. Amity Tower. Making sure the Grimm didn't damage it. Ruby. Okay, good. The repair crew saw that the system has melted, the core wasn't recognizable at all, it has to be replaced entirely, and immediately the repairs began. Wasting no time, the people were provided with an explanation and supplies. It's too cold above, so they stay in the shelters. Ironwood was looking through the latest drone footage and isn't seeing anything out of the ordinary. He takes control of the drone and makes it fly in other directions, but it didn't respond. Ironwood. It's not responding to my commands. Winter tries to command another drone, but no response. The footage is showing the same place where they hit Salem. Then Ironwood noticed something, the timestamp in the footage. It's old footage being played on repeat. Ironwood. Watts. He slammed his fist into the wall. Winter overrides the drone feed and gets the recent footage. All the drones have been destroyed. They see Salem standing in front of the camera. There are so many Grimm around her. Salem. I know you can hear and see me, General. Well done, you only managed to delay the inevitable. I do give you an A for effort, and as for you, Osmond, I'm going to make sure you die for good this time. As for that devil of Beacon, I'll be seeing you real soon and we're going to have some fun. She destroys the drone using magic. Yang. Did anyone else pick up on her tone regarding her last comment? Ruby. Dude, I think she wants you. Issei. She wants me to join her, no doubt. she can kiss my ass. Ironwood. Everyone, it's time we tell the world. Osmond. Agreed James. It's time. He goes to the tower with Osmond, Winter, Raven and Crow. Penny is guarding the tower along with the Aesops. He begins the broadcast. Ironwood. People of Remnant, I stand before you today with bad news. We are now at war. Not with any human or faunas but an ancient enemy who has made her move. Her name is Salem, she is a witch who can control Grimm, as unbelievable as it sounds it is true. The stories about the four maidens is also true, yes, magic is real. Agent Schnee and Raven Branwyn, please demonstrate. They use elemental magic for the whole world to see. Ironwood. What I am about to show you is disturbing, so please those with weak hearts and children should cover their eyes. He shows the footage of Salem, her castle and her grim army. Ironwood. She has been around for a long time, she plans on destroying Remnant and letting the Grimm take over with her as the only survivor. This is why Atlas has been working so hard to help the other kingdoms, it's to prepare them for this. Osmond. I can verify this as I have seen it for myself. Very few of us had knowledge of her and have been preparing for this time. Now the time has come to tell you all the truth and ask for your help. Her first target is believed to be Atlas, Salem, and her associate Arthur Watts are the reason why Mantle was attacked along with the other kingdoms by Grimm. Their movements were coordinated, which was never seen before. We need all of Remnant to unite as one allied force to stop her. Remnant, we need your help. Ironwood. We were always divided, we did her dirty work for her, but it's time we take a stand. Divided we are destined to fail, but together we can stop her once and for all. I'm sure you're all wondering where she has been hiding. I am ashamed to admit it, but she was on the unnamed continent this whole time. All of Remnant has been mapped out except for that continent. It's the perfect place to stay hidden and she took advantage of that. It was by aid of a student from Beacon that we discovered her location and managed to fire missiles at her. We destroyed her Grimm army, but we only delayed her. She survived several strikes and has another army. Our missiles are limited in numbers, so we will use them to help protect Remnant. I urge everyone, be they huntsmen or criminals, human or faunas, to protect each other and prepare to fight, for your very lives depend upon it. Save the women and children. Don't hesitate to kill when the Grimm come, because they won't, and nor will she. We finally achieve peace, have resources and defenses. Let us fight together to make sure we can live to see many more peaceful days to come. I urge you all to put aside your differences and turn Remnant into a whole. I send this message to the Summer Maiden. If you're listening, then please come to Atlas. Remnant needs your help. Good luck. The video feed ends, but the clips of Salem and her forces are playing on a loop. People see the Grimm spawning pools and are terrified. Every underground criminal, huntress, huntsman, student, police, military forces and even civilians are questioning if it's all real, but the newest footage shows how coordinated the Grimm are, as if they are following orders. Cinder, Hazel, Mercury and Emerald see the videos on their way to Atlas. The students and headmasters are horrified, but know that Osmond and Ironwood revealing the truth means Salem is making her move. They begin preparation for war. Retired huntsmen are joining the fight, including Tai Yang. Even civilians with licenses to carry firearms are joining the fight. They also take up a crash course in combat and look up the weaknesses of every Grimm. John's, Purra's, Weiss's and Blake's families are worried sick. Gira gathers the White Fang and orders them to help the people of Remnant. They obey and quickly set up defenses throughout Remnant. All small villages are joining the big cities because there are more people there and places to keep the women and children safe. All this happens in a matter of days. rwby, JNPR, Issei and the Aesops are helping out Mantle with defenses. Issei flies high and fast to destroy any Grimm he sees. Tai came straight to Atlas along with Zwei. Needless to say that Zwei was dearly missed and got so much love. Weiss, Blake and Issei just couldn't stay away from him. Tai is determined to help his family. He was filled in on the events and the story. It was a bit overwhelming at first, but he focused on the objective. He is currently training with Yang, and she cracks a joke. Yang. Hey dad, how do you make holy water? Tai. No idea. Yang. You boil the hell out of it. The two laugh while everyone ignores them. They continue to plan. Tai, Raven, Yang, Ruby and Crow are out there on patrol. When Osmond saw Ruby with her family, he saw a mirror image of Summer Rose. It was like she never died. He had a flashback of Team STRQ, the legends live on. He went to his room and cried. Osmond. Summer Rose, Gretchen Reinhardt and so many more gone. Because I failed sniff, I still remember all their faces. A few more days go by, the defenses are as good as they'll get. The people gathered their belongings and do their part in preparing to fight. Those who couldn't were told to learn basic medical knowledge and to control their emotions to decrease their chances of Grimm finding them. Ren went on live TV and shared his self-control technique. A lot of people found it helpful and are practicing it. The people are teaching each other to fight. Why sang songs to keep morale up. While all of this was happening, Neo broke Watts out of prison but left shock as he's useless. When they saw that he escaped, they were even more worried. Hazel, Cinder, Mercury and Emerald made it into Atlas airspace. They were told to land on a certain platform and identity themselves. They did so. As soon as they landed and exited the bullhead, soldiers aimed their guns at them. They put their hands up. Cinder. We didn't come here to fight. The Aesops appeared. Clover. Then why are you here? Surely you must have known that this would happen. Cinder. We expected as much. We want to talk. Clover. Harriet, Marrow and Vine. Quick arrest. Marrow. Stay. He froze the four in their place. Harriet handcuffs them faster than they could react. Vine binds them using his semblance. They are taken to see Ironwood. Osmond and Winter stay by his side. Ironwood keeps his gun in his hand just in case. Issei, rwby, JNPR, TRQ and Penny join them. Cinder looks angry when she sees John and Purah but quickly calms down. John and Purah are cautious. John has his hand on the hilt of his sword just in case. Ren. So what's all this about? Ironwood. You have 5 seconds to start explaining. Begin. Cinder. We want to join you. Winter. You expect us to believe that. Cinder. No, but a chance is all we ask. I want to help you get the relic to stop Salem. Osmond. Why the sudden change of heart? Mercury. Joining you guys is better than working for Salem. She'll cross every line for amusement. You guys treat people right. You managed to get the infamous Raven Branwen to join and help. Plus your message to all of Remnant is a little inspiring. Not going to lie. Emerald. Salem is the one who created the hybrids that attacked outside Argus. Hazel. Cinder. We just want to help. Ironwood. In exchange for what? Cinder. A clean slate if we live. Osmond. Your arm, it's not like before. Cinder. I removed it. Salem choked me with it and then sniff. Vine. Deep breaths. Take your time. She took deep breaths. Mercury. Cinder, I'll tell them. She nodded. Mercury. She tried to turn her into Grim. They looked disgusted and angry. Mercury. Thankfully it failed and there weren't any health of problems other than psychological trauma. Ironwood. I don't trust you. Hazel. That's fine. We knew you wouldn't, but we're joining the fight. Osmond. Hazel. Hazel. Shut your mouth, Osmond, you told the truth far too late. My sister is dead because of you. Osmond. You're right. You lost your sister and I shouldn't have let her go on the mission. She was skilled without a doubt, but too young. Her blood is on my hands along with everyone else. I've failed. Hazel. Osmond. I still remember her smile and her drive to become the best huntress she could. If we beat Salem, you can gladly take my life. Ironwood. Osmond. Osmond. It's okay, James. I've lived a long time and failed many. It's time I do the right thing. Hazel. So you're not such a coward after all. Osmond. Ironwood. Sigh. Okay, so how can you help us? Emerald. I've been working on my semblance. I can make myself or someone next to me look and sound like any person when I get the details memorized. I could help in creating distractions. Mercury. My semblance was taken away by my old man, so I can help in combat as long as I have aura, can't do much else. Hazel. This new dust that's been growing everywhere, I can fuse it with my body and control the elements. Ironwood. Wait, how did you get hold of the dust? Hazel. It's growing throughout Remnant. Ironwood. I see. Very well. Does Salem know you are here and of your intentions? Cinder. She only knows that I defected. These three are safe so they can be your spies in a way. Osmond. The idea is good, but Salem is too smart to fall for that. If she sees any one of you next to Cinder and not trying to capture her, then the plan will fail. Cinder. Then what can I do to prove that I'm on your side? Osmond. Return the powers of the Fall Maiden. Cinder's eye widens. Cinder. But this is all I have. Osmond. Not true, you have your friends by your side. The new dust is equal to that of the Maiden's power if you can channel your aura into it. Cinder. But I. Osmond. Miss Fall, this is the only way. Cinder. Ironwood. If you do help us, then we'll get you fitted with an arm and optics. Cinder. Mercury. If you're worried about her taking away the power from Puranikos, then you're worrying for nothing. It was a parasite like Grim that allowed the power transfer. That parasite is gone for good. Pura. You guys attacked Beacon, tricked Yang and I courtesy of Emerald semblance. Penny died because of you. Dawn calms her down and as does Penny. Emerald. I admit that I used my semblance to interfere with the tournament. I'm sorry about that. Yang. I should have actually broken your legs. Mercury. I lost my real legs years ago. These are prosthetics, but if it means that we can join you guys, then do it. Yang. No point if you can't feel pain. Nora. I'd do it regardless. Ren. She would. Mercury. I don't know who's more terrifying, Salem or your girlfriend. Issei. Both are terrifying in their own right. Hazel. We're getting off topic. Ironwood. Agreed. Watts has escaped from prison. We asked his cellmate Jacques Gel, and he said that some girl wearing a cloak busted him out. Who is she? Cinder. Did he get a look at her face? Ironwood. Only her eyes, heterochromia, one eye is pink and the other is brown. Cinder. Neapolitan. She was Roman's partner. Issei. Now it makes sense. She blames Ruby and I for his death, even though it was a Grimm that ate him. Ruby. So she's out for revenge. She clearly saw the Grimm eat him, yet she blames us. Emerald. She is stealthy, even more so than I. Cinder. If you plan on arresting her and making her talk, then you're wasting your time. She's mute. Winter. We need someone who knows sign language. Cinder. She still won't say anything. She's blindly following Salem like I used to. Yang. I'll knock some sense into her. I owe her a beatdown for attacking me during a mission. Issei. When did that happen? Yang. When the four of us were on a practice mission with Dr. Obligate Beacon. She nearly killed me, but this time I'm ready for her. Ironwood. You'll get your chance. Hazel noticed Elm is looking at him with a small smirk. She winked at him and he raised his eyebrows. Marrow. So what do we do with these four, General? Ironwood. Put them through the test. Cinder, Pura, Issei and John go to Shade Academy and get the relic. If Cinder tries anything, Emerald, Mercury, Hazel, Cinder. I agree to your terms, General. John. A little too quickly, the three of us were the ones who ruined your plans. You also tried to kill the love of my life and the previous fall maiden ... twice. Cinder. You're right and I paid the price for it. I have no ill intent toward you three, I have only myself to blame for that. You were only protecting yourselves. Ren. She's not lying. I can tell. Crow. Why don't you ask Robin to use her semblance? Her semblance is lie detection. He comes out of hiding. Ozpin. Watching and listening from the shadows as always. Crow. Crow. Kind of my job there, Oz. So what do you guys say? Winter. Do it. Crow, John, Issei, Pura takes Cinder to Robin, Robin takes Cinder's hand. Robin. So, do you really want to join our side? Cinder. Yes. Robin's hand glows green. Robin. If you have any other agenda then you should tell us. Cinder. I have only the desire to kill Salem for using me as a tool and a toy for her Grimm. Her hand glows green. Robin. What did she do to you? Cinder. Use me as a Grimm's breeding tool. Again her hand glows green. Robin, let's go. They look at Cinder who is clearly angry and wants to destroy Salem. Issei. Now that Councilwoman Hill has helped us, we can be a little relaxed, let's go get the relic. Crow. Thanks for helping out, Robin. Robin. No problem, we're two birds of a feather after all. Crow smirks and they leave. Ironwood told them that they have a new high-speed jet that can get them to Vacuo in a day. On their way to the hangar they see a small jet with space for 6 people. On their way there it was quiet until Cinder spoke. Cinder. I'm sorry. Pura. Beg pardon. Cinder. I said I'm sorry for attacking you 3 twice. Pura. Apology accepted but we're still keeping a close eye on you, I'm sorry I didn't mean to say it like that. Cinder. I know. You're trying to be considerate about this. She gestures to her damaged eye. Cinder. It's my penance. Do not apologize for doing what you had to. John. I should though I saw red and went on the offense you lost your arm because of me, I didn't try to stop you any other way I'm sorry. Cinder. I tried to kill you 3 when I knew I was outmatched I got off pretty easy all things considering. Issei. Serious question, will the vault open if the power is split between you two? Pura. No clue. Guess we'll have to try. Issei. If not then I'll transfer the power from Cinder to you. Cinder. So I'll be powerless again? Issei. There are other ways. John. Pura. You okay, John? John. Motion sickness. Pura. I'll check for some meds to help you. Go over there and lie down. John. Thank you. She checks the medical supplies while John lies down, she finds some and gives him the pills, it causes drowsiness, so he fell asleep with Pura by his side. She too closes her eyes and takes a nap. Issei. Tell me something, why did you want to help Salem who wants everyone dead? Cinder. She lied to me, manipulated me, said that I'll have power so no one can hurt me again. Issei. She clearly excluded herself from that. Cinder. Clearly. Issei. I'm glad you left her, it takes a lot of courage to do what you did. Congratulations. Cinder. Thanks. Issei. I mean it, I know a few people who did what you did, I'm proud of them, and I'm proud of you, even though I don't really know much about you. Cinder. Do you even know what it's like to be used? By someone you looked up to? Being a pawn all your life? Issei. Yes I do. Not all of my life but some of it. Cinder. I was used as a servant, endured pain, then someone helped me, I got stronger, but I misused my newfound strength. Issei. It's in the past now. Cinder. Are you telling me that I should forget it ever happened? Issei. No, you can't forget something like that, what's done is done, but what matters now is which path you choose to take. I'm happy to see you made the right choice. Have you heard of the butterfly effect? Cinder. No. Issei. Some believe that when a butterfly flaps its wings, the air beneath it can create a storm somewhere else in the world. Cinder. Meaning. Issei. The smallest action can change history for better or for worse, I believe it to be true. For example, your simple action to help us could lead to Salem's demise and saving many lives, both current and future generations. Cinder sees the look in his eyes, he's been through something similar. Cinder. I never got your name. Issei. I'm Issei Hayato. Cinder. Nice to meet you. Issei. Likewise. Where have you and your friends been hiding for the past year? Cinder. In a small town, we work in a cafe, I'm a cashier, Emerald is a waitress, Mercury is a bartender, and Hazel is security. Issei. Sounds nice. Cinder. It is. Issei. How does an honest living feel? Cinder. It makes me feel happy. Don't know why I never wanted that kind of life. Issei. Maybe it's because those three were there for you and still are. Cinder. That's true. Issei. Cinder, your name reminds me of a story. Cinder. He tells her the take of Cinderella. Cinder. Ha ha ha, that's so unrealistic. Issei. I know, but there are lessons to learn from it. Cinder. Oh. Like what? Waiting for a godmother to wave her wand to meet my soulmate. From rags to riches. Issei. Possibly, but I'm talking about finding the courage to leave the abuse behind, finding a true home and loved ones. You already found a home with those three by your side. You can work together and do some good on a much larger scale. Cinder. You're about the same age as I, but you have a very open mind. Issei. Being small-minded is to imprison yourself. Set yourself free. You are born to be more than what you're born into. Cinder suddenly felt something click inside, she let a few tears fall, and Issei wipes them away. Issei. You'll be fine from now on, Cinder. You'll be okay. She hugged him and he returned the hug. Cinder. Thank you. Issei. Sure thing. They later reached Shade Academy, Headmaster Theodore took them to the vault. Hurrah. This is it. Ready, Cinder. Cinder. Ready. They placed their hands on the door and it glowed, it opened, and they see a sword with a blue blade, a golden hilt and a golden guard. John. I'll get it. He walks in and grabs the blade, he feels power go through him, it hurts, he immediately hangs it around his waist, and lets go. He walks back to the others. John. So this is the sword of destruction, it hurts when I hold it. Issei. Really? Let me see that. John. Issei, it's a dangerous relic. Issei. Come on, I can handle it. John. Okay, sure. Issei takes the blade and hold it like he doesn't feel a thing. John. It doesn't hurt. Issei. Nope. I don't see what you're talking about. He swings it around a bit. Issei. Well balanced though. He swings it once more and energy slash goes towards the vault doors and destroys them. They all look at it then back to Issei. Issei. Well, looks like we don't need the summer maiden to get the last relic, I'll hold on to this from now on. Cinder. Can you carry 3 swords? Issei. John, hold on to this. He gives him the red sword. Issei. Let's go get some lunch first. The three nod. They go get some lunch. Cinder is weirded out a little bit by how casual Issei is, but knows that he is someone people shouldn't mess with. They go back to Atlas, and as soon as they arrive they place the sword in the vault in Atlas. They rest and continue with repairs to Mantle. It's going well, the Grim have spread out throughout Remnant and attack anyone they see, but the people are prepared, they are holding their own against them. Now only the crown relic remains. Issei. So Professor, where is the crown? Is it under beacon? Osbin. Not really, I'm afraid its location is unknown. Issei. What? Osbin. The old kings knew of the location, but thankfully the lamp can tell us. Issei. So 1 out of 3 questions will be used to find the crown. Sigh, it can't be helped. Osbin. Yes. I'm afraid so. Ironwood. So there's a spirit in the lamp that will tell us, correct? Osbin. Yes, Jin is will tell us. Crow. Do the other relics have spirits inside them too? Osbin. Only the staff for creation and the relic of knowledge have spirits within. The crown shows the wearer the possible futures, and they can't stop the visions unless they take off the crown, just hope it doesn't overload someone's mind. The sword of destruction's limits and abilities are unknown. Issei. Excalibur destruction. Yang. Did you say something? Issei. Huh. Oh no, just thinking out loud. Let's use the lamp. Boom. They hear an explosion and go outside to check. A building is on fire. Issei, Weiss and Winter go there and put out the flames. Winter. The debris, it's inside the building. Weiss. The explosion was from outside. Issei. What could have watch out? The massive Grim that looks like a beelf but with wings nearly cut them down, they stayed in the air and kept some distance. Weiss. What is that thing? The hound flies towards Issei and readies its long claws. He moves to the side and kicks it from behind, it sent right into the dust fields, the sharp crystals impale it, and it lets out a roar. Issei. Oh, would you look at that, it's been impaled. The hound then puts its arms behind it and broke the biggest crystals impaling it. It got up and the dust piercing it is now becoming a part of it. It immediately created sharp ice knuckles and claws, stone armor and breaths out fire, there is wind swirling around it. Winter, Weiss and Issei are bewildered. Issei. This thing just got a lot more dangerous. Winter sees a large black cloud over the horizon. Winter. That's unnatural. Issei. So is what's in front of us. You two go make sure we don't have any more unwelcome guests. Leave this thing to me. Weiss. I'm staying. Winter. Weiss, that thing could hurt you. Weiss. I can do the same to it. We got this. Let's do this. Issei. Issei. Right. She readies her rapier. Issei readies Ascalon. Winter looks at her little sister with pride. Winter. Alright, good luck. She flies away and gets the people to safety. The hound stands there facing their direction. It's not attacking the people. Weiss noticed that even though it doesn't have eyes, it's staring right through their souls. Weiss. It's creeping me out. Issei. It's a mind game, trying to unnerve you so it'll have the advantage. Focus. She shakes her head. The two land and get ready. The hound charges, both claws ready to cut them, they blocked each claw with their weapons, but the hound isn't just 3x their size, it's 3x more powerful raw strength-wise. Issei reached for his red sword, but the hound breaths fire, the two jump out of the way. The hound let out a chuckle-like growl. Issei. Did it just laugh? Weiss. I think so. The hound suddenly appears beside Weiss and readies its fist covered in fire. She couldn't even register its speed. Issei pushed her out of the way and grabbed its fist with his left hand. As the hound threw its punch, the fire engulfed his entire left arm. Weiss. Issei. Yang, Ruby and Blake hear her cry and watch from above. Yang. Issei. The flames died down after a few seconds, but they see no reaction on Issei's face. It's like he doesn't even feel it. He slashed the hound and forced it to leap away. He puts out the flame, and rwby sees his arm covered in scales. Ruby? Wow. Blake. Are those scales? Yang. Yeah, dust scales. Blake. You knew about this? Yang. Yeah. He asked me not to tell anyone yet, but there's no point in hiding it. He's not a bat fraunas, he's a dragon fraunas. Blake and Ruby. Weiss. Issei, are you alright? Issei. Perfectly fine. Just upset about my favorite coat. The hound sees that its attack didn't do any damage, enraged it. It roared and dust started growing out of it. Weiss. It's growing dust on its body. Issei. That means it can continue to use the elements. We need to kill it, quickly go for the head. Weiss. Right. Issei. Right on. Weiss. They charge at it, hound grabs both of their blades and tries to bite their heads off. Issei kicks it right in the jaw and sends it a few steps back. He then punched it right in the gut, a hole was blown through it. He won but heard the hound laugh. Hound. Is that all you can do? He and rwby hear a talk, the wound begins to heal, it grabs Issei, covered its other hand in stone, then fire. Issei crossed his arms over in front of his body, hound punched with enough force to send Issei flying into the buildings. Team rwby rush over to him. A few soldiers show up and start firing at it, but bullets are useless, they only wound it for a second before it heals. The hound breaths fire and the soldiers are forced to retreat. rwby find Issei inside a building, he went right through it. They are worried that he's dead because his aura isn't like theirs and he was punched right through a building. Yang. Issei, please say something. Issei gets up and groans. Issei. Damn fella can throw a good punch. I've give him that. Blake. How are you not hurt? Issei. Like I said before, I'm just built different. He removed his torn coat. Issei. Weiss, we'll have to stop holding back. Weiss. Balance breaker. Issei. On my mark. The two walk out into the clearing and sees the hound waiting for them. It changes its body structure to be more bulky. Issei wipes the dust off his nose. Issei. I see. It's completely different now. Weiss. Nah, it's just a monster. Hound. We both are. Issei. Ready. Weiss. Weiss. Ready. Greg. About time. Issei. Say it with me. Weiss and Issei. Balance break. Weiss dons her armor, but all eyes are fixed on Issei, who is now using his balance breaker. The hound gets ready. Yang is left almost breathless, she never thought that her armored savior and her love are one and the same. Her heart skips a beat and feels his power, she even sees the dragon silhouette once more. Ruby, Weiss and Blake see it too. Yang. Issei, it was you who saved me from Adam. Issei. Yeah. I wasn't going to let him live after what we did. You three should stay back as backup. It can regenerate, so have quite the monster to fight. Ruby. This should help. She used her eyes, the flash weakened the hound, but it regained its strength seconds later. Ruby. It didn't work. Hound. H and A plus dot star equals QAV3H plus AE2GNO and G. She gets ready to fire, but Issei stopped her. Issei. He can regenerate, don't waste your ammo. Weiss and I can handle this. Boost 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 boost. The power is flowing visibly and Yang's left arm starts to feel strange. She looks at it and sees yellow scales growing. Yang. What the? Ruby feels strange as well, but she chalks it up to feeling the power Issei is unleashing. Issei. Let's go. Weiss. Right. They both use their superior speed and appear on the sides, swords ready to strike. The hound blocks Weiss' sword and kicks her with great force. She's sent tumbling backwards. Her armor is destroyed and her aura flickers. Ruby, Yang and Blake picked her up and backed away. Issei slashes the hound and actually hurt it. Its wound was healing, but slowly, it focused on him and threw a punch. Issei did the same and their fists collided. There was a shockwave and the Grimm's arm broke but healed quickly. Yang. It's just like what happened to me when I fought Adam, not again, not to him. Blake. Yang, get a hold of yourself. Issei is fine, he can handle this, we need to get Weiss out of here. Weiss. It's. Cough so strong. Blake. So is he. Issei will be back. Issei. I'll keep this thing occupied. He cuts of its arm, only to see it regenerate. Ruby. I know how to help, I'll be back. She flies down to Mantle. Yang and Blake get Weiss to somewhere safe. She's not hurt, but she got the wind knocked out of her. Yang keeps looking back towards Issei, who is evenly matched with the hound. Issei. You're tough, but I've fought tougher. He boosts his power and uppercuts it. The hound is airborne, but Issei continues to punch it into the sky, each strike stronger than the one before it. He moved on top of the hound and boosts several times. He fires a dragon shot and there's a huge explosion as soon as it hits the hound. It falls at Mach speeds right outside of Mantle. There's a visible shockwave that sends the snow and dirt flying everywhere. Issei flies down and lands next to the crater. Visibility is too low to tell if it's dead or not. Suddenly a claw extended out of the crater and pierced his armor. It hit him below the ribs. Not only was the armor broken, but it cut him. Issei backed away and puts his hand on his wound. He's bleeding and needs to get it patched up soon. The hound comes out of the crater and its body is misshapen. Issei hears cracks and bones popping back into place. Issei. That's just disturbing. The hound looks at his claws and holds the broken pieces of Issei's armor with his blood on it. It opens its jaw and eats it. Issei can feel more power coming from it. It smirked at him. Greg. Issei, we have to find a way to kill it before it gets too strong, it's using you. Before he could respond, it lunged at him and spin kicked him. Issei recovers, boosts and transfers power to Ascalon. The hound narrowly dodged a sword. Issei suddenly saw its bone plates turn red and its wings look like his. Issei. HMP. Looks like I finally got a challenge. Boost 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 boost. They clashed. Issei is dragging it through the dirt, rocks and snow, ripping it apart as fast as it can regenerate. He's punching it and using his tail to grip Ascalon and cut the hound. It howls in pain, it clawed and ripped through his armor and injuries him. Issei lets go and flies up, breathing heavily and bleeding. He used the fire dust scales to sear the biggest sounds, but the hound wasn't going to let him recover. It flew up at great speed and Issei impaled it using Ascalon. The hound fell down, but healed its wound. Issei. A dragon wannabe mutt. You want me so badly, then come at me. Boost 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 boost. He dived down and the hound jumped. Issei readies Ascalon and the hound readies both claws and jaws. Issei. Aiya. Hound. Ruer. They collide and there's a big flash of green light. Art 16. Dragon vs Hound. The collision pushed them away. Drake continues to repair the armor to make sure Issei isn't injured any further. Issei noticed that its wounds inflicted by Ascalon heal slower than other ones. Issei. It has my dragon energy signature somehow, so it's part dragon, thank you Saint Michael. Ascalon is gonna give us the edge. Greg. Partner, it's as durable as you are, if not then even more so. It's slowly growing stronger somehow. Issei. Then let's take that power away. He tail whipped its legs and made it fall. He punched its knee sideways, thus breaking it. It grabbed Issei, but its strength was taken away. Divide divide divide. The hound felt weaker. Issei impaled it using Ascalon and twists it. Its blood turns the white snow black. Issei fires a dragon shot at point blank range right to the head. Issei. Gotcha. The smoke clears and Issei sees its head rolled backwards. Issei removed the sword and sees the hound fall backwards. Issei. Huff, not bad but not good enough, I need to get patched up. He starts to slowly walk away and catch his breath. He didn't notice the hound stand back up and its head popping back into place. Issei was about to dispel the armor until he was tackled with great force. The hound is on top of him and knocks the sword out of his hands. Issei put his hands up to guard him from the incoming strike. Hound creates a thick stone rod with a burning tip. Issei can feel the heat. He wrapped his tail around the hound's neck and shocked it. He pushed it off of him and started pummeling it. He punched it again and again while boosting, but it kept regenerating. It was having trouble breathing. It clawed Issei on the face, and half the helmet was destroyed, but he didn't care. He cut off the limbs and continues to choke it. It let out a growl, and Issei saw a lot of Grim approach it as soon as they all got close. Boost 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 boost. Boom. He fired a dragon shot, and the explosion was massive. Issei was sent flying and did sustain minor injuries from the blast. He landed and skids for a little bit. He gets up and sees all the Grim are gone, but isn't taking any chances against the Hound. Issei, show yourself. Out of the smoke emerges the heavily injured Hound. Its limbs have grown back but are thin and weak. Issei had enough. It responded with a growl. Issei felt the ground shake a bit. Several centipede Grim emerged, and a few are different. They are far bigger and fatter. They have the front limbs of a praying mantis, but the biggest concern in the green glow coming from its chest. One of them inhales deeply. Issei goes in to cut them down. The Grim spews out the green glow at him. He immediately goes airborne to avoid the fluid. It hits the ground, and smoke is seen. Issei. Acid. Issei prepared another dragon shot, but the Hound has other plans. Dozens of tendrils come out of its body and connect to the Grim. It starts to consume them. Issei. The hell. It grows bigger, stronger and more aggressive. It flapped its wings just once and it was already in the air. Its speed is crazy. It grew long claws and channels lightning through them. It ripped off Issei's chest plate, and the electricity shocks Issei upon contact. The Hound heel kicked him right in the ribs. Issei definitely felt his bones crack for sure. He was falling fast, and the Hound unleashed a fire breath. Issei used fire dust to counter it while stopping his fall. Drake continues to repair the armor, and Issei boosts the fire power. It turns the yellow flame to red. It overpowered the Hound's flame and burns him. He lands, and so does the Hound. Issei is sure that it can't regenerate when the wounds are cauterized, but it proved him wrong. The cauterized flesh falls off, and the side is freaky. It regenerates faster than before. Issei's armor is fixed too. Ironwood and a few others are watching via drone-mounted camera. Ironwood. What am I even seeing? I have so many questions. Ospen. That's not what worries me, James. He pointed towards another camera. The dark cloud is coming closer and closer. There is red lightning, and more Grim than ever before. Ironwood takes action. It's still far away and that's why it's the perfect time. He fires a nuke towards it, and it soared through the sky. Issei saw it go towards the dark cloud. The Hound bulked up, covered its foot in ice and stone. It kicked Issei right on the head. The stone and ice shatters. He crashed into the ground and is disoriented. He tries to get up but loses his balance. His ears are ringing, and his vision is really blurry. The Hound grabs Issei by the back of his neck and slams him into the ground repeatedly. Issei felt a lot of pain go through him. The armor is breaking. It slams him with enough force to make Issei bounce off of the ground. As soon as he does, the Hound punched him back down, shattering his armor. He's wounded and the Hound steps on his now broken ribs, barely letting him breath. Issei. GHH. The Hound laughs. It raised its claws and changed the shape into a spiked mace, ready to kill him when two beams of white light go right through it. It howls and backs away. Issei turns his head and sees a red and yellow figure. Just before he could tell who they are, there's a blinding light. The nuke hit the target and he can't see anything, barely hears the blast. He feels two arms lift him up. Yang. Issei. He hears Yang and blinks a few times. He can see a little more clearly now. He sees Yang put his arm over and lifts him up. Yang. We got you. Stay awake. Ruby, get the sword. He looks towards Ruby who is firing white lasers from her eyes. She tosses the sword to Yang. Issei. Am I seeing things? Greg. No. She's firing lasers from her eyes. Looks like Dr. Polendina made special goggles that focus her powers. Issei. Honeyed. Greg. She's can't hold it off for long. Either get yourself together and kill it or escape. You're hurt. Issei. He rubs his eyes and gets his bearings. He sees Yang patching him up. Yang. You good? Issei. Yeah, get out of here, it's after me. Yang. I'm not leaving a fellow dragon behind. Issei. Get out of here, it'll kill you. The Hound managed to time the intervals between each of Ruby's attacks and dodges one. It zigzags out of the way and gets closer to Ruby. She turns her weapon into a side, and they exchanged attacks. Its claws are cutting up her weapon little by little. Hound doubles its entire arm in size. Ruby flies up to dodge it, but the Hound flies up and is mere feet away from her. Ruby uses her scythe to block the unavoidable strike. Hound strikes and completely destroys her weapon. Ruby is falling, and her goggles have been knocked off. Ruby. My baby. Yang. Ruby. Ruby flies away to get some distance. The Hound looks at the three and gestures for them to attack. It's toying with all of them. Issei. Get out of here, you two. He tries to walk but stumbled. Yang caught him. Yang. You're in no condition to fight. Issei. I've been through worse, go. Yang. Not without you. Ruby. Incoming. The Hound released a fireball and Issei throws an ice scale. It collided and there was steam everywhere. Ruby saw a dark figure and used her powers. The Hound flinched and then appears right in front of her. Her eyes glow again, but the Hound grabs her head. She can't see and the grip on her skull is so strong. Ruby. Let go, it hurts. Yang fires every round she has in her gauntlets and it does very little. The hound turns towards her, tosses Ruby on the ground and walks towards Yang, electricity sparking out of its fingers. It claps its hands and there's an electric arc when the hands spirate. Yang activates her semblance as it's her only defense left. Issei crushed several fire and wind dust scales in his hand. He inhaled deeply, put the dust-filled hand to his mouth. He blows and a flame jet is coming out. It starts to burn the hound. Ruby gets out of the way but can still feel the heat even from the distance. Boost 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 boost. With each boost the flame increased in intensity to the point the hound was being ripped apart by the force. Yang and Ruby call for backup. After a few seconds the flame gives out and Issei takes a deep breath. It hurts because of the broken ribs. The hound is a lump of burnt grim flesh. Ruby. Did we kill it? Issei. No. You two need to get away. Yang. I'm not leaving a fellow dragon behind, got it? She shows him her arm. Issei's eyes widens. Issei. How? Yang. I don't know, it just happened. Greg. That's how the transformation slowed down. Yang siphoned some of the energy using her aura. That might also explain how I saw them appear in the gear. Issei. Wait, you said you saw Ruby too. Greg. They both siphoned the energy, that explains the sudden improvement in their abilities. Issei. Oh no. The hound is regenerating once more and gets back up. It roars and grows small dust pillars out of its body. Ruby finds her goggles nearby and bolts towards them. Hound used superior speed and got there before her. It smashed the goggles under its foot and Ruby backed away. Ruby. Oh come on. Issei. Ruby, get over here. She flies over them. Boost 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 boost. He holds their arms and transfers the power to them. They get ready to fight with their fists if they must. Issei. Balance breaker. Greg. Welsh dragon, balance breaker. Again he dons his balance breaker. They attack from three sides simultaneously, but the hound jumps up and spin kicks them right in the face. They are sent falling in their backs. Yang's and Ruby's auras flicker and Issei gets back up. He boosts again and again, tries to cut the head off, but the hound blocks every strike. It increased its speed, power and reflexes to the point it's equal to Issei. Issei. What are you? Hound. Your death. Issei impaled it using his tail and then ripped it out. He repeated the process and divided the power from it again and again, but somehow it got its original strength back. Greg. Time to use the promotions, partner. Issei. Greg. What's wrong? Issei. Greg. Partner, it'll kill you if you don't. It'll kill these two and others black and white, remember? The two get back up and charge. The hound slams his foot and a circle of stone with sharp spikes come out of the ground, forcing the three to retreat. The hound punched the air in Ruby's direction and a fireball came out. Yang blocked it using her left arm and saw that it didn't burn but still felt the heat. Yang. So that happened. The hound slams another foot forwards and this time, massive ice pillars are moving towards her, each bigger than the last. She leaps into air and lands on top of the ice. She reloaded her weapon as she slides downwards on the ice. Hound sends lightning through the ice. Yang leaps before she's electrocuted and fires lightning bullets. It hits the hound and it causes some muscle paralysis. Ruby and Issei appear from the sides and kick it on its legs. It falls. Issei aims Ascalon and his red katana at the head. He pierces the snout with the katana and pins the head to the ground. He raised Ascalon and aims right between where its eyes should be. Suddenly the head splits from the jaw to avoid the blade. Issei sees a person inside with wolf ears. He grabs the detached head and rips it off. He can see more of the real head inside. He realizes that the hound is a faunus with a living grim exosuit, which is regenerating once more. Issei. Ruby, use your eyes. She does exactly that and it weakens the hound. Issei continues to rip off the grim exosuit to free the person underneath it. The fauna screams a little but they continue. They don't know that the pieces they ripped off are gathering and reconstituting themselves. They finally manage to free the man. He opens his eye and panics. Ruby sees that he has a silver eyes just like her. Faunas. Where am I? Issei. You're safe now. Breath. Ruby. Did Salem do something like this to mom? Faunas. Please help me, Salem is crazy. Issei. We know. Just calm yourself. You're free now. The faunus calms down and Ruby covers him with her cloak. Yang. Let's get you out of here. They left him up and look around. The place is a mess. They start walking. They don't see the smile creeping on the faunus face. Greg. Watch out. They look behind them. Two fists and a kick hit the three with enough force to break their auras and Issei's helmet. It reattached itself to the faunus who is laughing. It created a massive spiked boulder with fire and electricity all over it. It threw it at them and Issei used a hard light dust scale to create a shield around them. It blocked the attack, but the impact created a shockwave that knocked them down again, the shield disappeared, and the hound unleashed more lightning upon the girls. Issei got in front of them, used his wings to cover them, and pierced the ground using his tail. He grounded the lightning, but it still coursed through him, and it hurt like a bitch, and his body isn't responding to his commands. The hound creates ice shards and throws them towards Ruby. She tries to get up, but in her panic she slips. She crossed her arms and waits for the inevitable. Ruby? I'm sorry I couldn't avenge you, Mom. She hears the sound of something being impaled, but she doesn't feel any pain. She opens her eyes and sees Issei on top of her. She can see ice shards in his back as he used himself as a shield. Ruby? No, Issei, why? She places her hands on his face. He's smiling but weakly as he answered her. Issei. Why not? He loses his smile and collapses onto the side, his armor dispelled. The hound laughs. Hound? Weak. Ruby and Yang see Issei laying on the cold ground covered in wounds. Yang crawls over to him. She and Ruby are speechless. The wounds need to be treated immediately. Yang. Issei, speak to me. Ruby clenched her fists and gritted her teeth. White light visible in her eyes. Ruby? You monster. Her eyes flash white light brighter than ever. It looks like the sun almost exploded, and the hound turned halfway to stone. Luckily Yang and Issei had covered their eyes. Issei. Run. He slowly closes his eyes. Ruby? No, wake up. Yang. Issei. The hound goes in for the kill when it's bombarded with 50 caliber rounds from an approaching gunship. It leaves a trail of shells behind it. The hound fires lightning at it and shoots it down. The pilot's ejected. A portal opens behind it. The maidens come out of it, along with John, Nora, Ren, Blake, Weiss, Ty, Emerald, Mercury, Hazel, Penny and Crow. The maidens are using combo attacks such as ice twisters, fire tornadoes, lightning strikes. Weiss uses armored summons. John is amplifying anyone's aura and provides close defense. Ren, Nora, Blake, Crow and Mercury provide both long-range cover fire and close defense. Hazel uses dust to unleash his elemental fury. Emerald uses her semblance to create copies of her new allies to confuse the hound. Penny fires beam after beam of energy. The maidens created an iceberg and dropped it on top of the hound. They thought that they had done it, but it cracked right in the middle and then split. The hound comes out of the ice and pops its bones back into place. It roared and started spinning while breathing fire. It used wind dust to fan the flames and made a fire twister of its own. It's bigger than the one the maidens can make. They did try to contain it, but the hound added more flames and wind. Hazel used a wind dust crystal to launch himself higher than the twister. He puts fire and earth dust crystals into his hands, transfers his aura, and they start to react. He tosses them right down at the hound, direct hit, and the hound howls from the lava burning it. Hazel lands on a nevermore that Y summoned. The fire twister dispersed. Cinder. Nikos, I have an idea. Purah. What? Cinder. Wine sphere. She gathers the air in her palm and compresses it. Purah just follows her lead and does the same. They joined their spheres, and there's so much wind pressure, they can hear a high-pitched sound. Cinder. Light it up. They use fire as well, and even the flames are compressed into the wind sphere. It continues to burn. The two fly towards the hound and slam the sphere into the hound's face. They release the sphere, and the momentum carries the hound with it into the distance. It blows up, and a massive flame erupts. Everyone could feel the air getting sucked towards the fire as it turned into an inferno. The hound comes out while still on fire. It puts out the flames burning it and flies up. It spun around and dust crystals fly everywhere. It's raining down upon them. They shoot the crystals coming towards them. There is wind, lightning, ice, earth and fire coming down on them. The dust crystals that hit the ground create a field of earth, ice, lightning and fire. John used his semblance on Weiss and Winter. They created large shield glyphs that managed to protect everyone. Raven and Crow turned into birds to dodge the crystals mid-air. They flew towards the hound, changed back into humans and in perfect sync, cut and slashed the hound. Ty ran over and used his semblance. Dragon release. His aura starts to glow. It turns from yellow to red. It starts to mold into a dragon. Ty. Move. The Brandwin twins fly away, and the hound sees Ty coming towards him. Ty picks up speed, and the dragon-shaped aura grows in size. The ground itself is being ripped apart. Everyone is in awe, as most of them have never seen a semblance like that before. Ty. This is for attacking my daughters. He charges at the hound and it's a direct hit. The hound can't move as the force pushing it is too great. Ty kicks just once, and the hound loses the left side of its body. Ty unleashed a barrage of punches while moving around in unpredictability. The hound is a punching bag but isn't going down. Ty is making it bleed with every strike, but it just keeps healing. After a solid 5 minutes, his speed and power decreased, and the hound knows that. He backs away and is completely drained. The hound tries to bite his head off, but a portal opens below Ty, and he falls into it before he loses his head. He appears next to Raven. Ty. Thanks, huff huff. Raven. You still got it. Ty. Never lost it. Crow. In our days we didn't have to deal with things like this. Ty. You sound like an old man. Crow. After seeing how quickly these kids grew up and surpassing us, you would too. The hound roars, clearly it doesn't like being ignored. Winter calls for backup. Winter. I need heavy air support, bring the rain and medics. 8 to 5 minutes. Cinder is watching Issei, Yang and Ruby from a distance. Yang was trying to stop Issei's bleeding as did Ruby. Ruby, stay awake Issei. Yang. Drake, what can we do to help Issei? Drake. Keep pressure on the wounds until you get a medic. I'm doing what I must. The girls are confused, but they do their best to stop the bleeding. The shards melted enough from Issei's body heat to fall out. The two did their best. Yang. We need a medic. Cinder hears her cries and flies to them. She sees the scales on his body but is worried about his wounds. He's bleeding. She sees the cauterized wounds on his side and knows what she must do. She plucks her hair, makes an obsidian needle via her semblance, and starts stitching the wounds shut. Issei flinches a bit, and that's a good sign, he's conscious. She's done in a matter of minutes while the others are throwing everything they have at the hound. Cinder. Done Issei, can you hear us? He gives a thumbs up. Yang. He still needs a doctor or a few. Ruby. Let's get him out of here. They lift him up, the hound sees them trying to escape. Penny spins her swords like a fan and aims for the head. The hound dodges and grabs them. It pulls her towards itself via the wires connected to the blades and kicks her in the gut. The wires are severed and it throws the blades at everyone including Issei. It flew by Yang's head and missed by a millimeter. Yang. Shit, it nearly took my head off. Ruby. Penny. Ruby grabs the sword that the hound threw and went to join the fight. She joined Tai, Crow and Raven. They see that she's hell-bent on taking it down. The three of them stop her, while the others distracted the hound. Crow. Ruby, get Issei to a medic. Tai. We got this. Ruby. This is my fight too. Raven grabbed her by her cloak. Raven. We already lost your mother, we can't lose you too. You're just as much of a target as Issei, now go. Ruby groaned, then listened to them. She goes back to Yang and Issei. She sees everyone working together and holding their own. The air support arrived and unleash every bomb, bullet and missile they can. It was a direct hit most of the time. Ruby was happy to see the hound get torn apart and stay dead. Or so she thought it was until hound grabbed one of them and stopped pulling punches. It started to take everyone down one by one. Auras are breaking left and right. Issei opened his eyes, slowly got up, turned around and saw them facing death. The maidens are getting overpowered, its speed is too much, and the ones who still have auras are flicking with each hit. Weapons are getting damaged, shields are getting dented and ripped into pieces. He stood on his own and got angry, his teeth turned into fangs, more scales grew on his body, his wings are now completely red. He boosts several times and transfers the power to Ruby. Issei. Get everyone out of here, Ruby. This is going to be deadly. Greg. Welsh Dragon Balance Breaker. He dons his armor for the third time, and his power is radiating. The girls next to him have to back away as the air around him was stinging them a lot. The hound focuses on him and starts walking and gradually picks up speed. Ruby gets the seriously wounded into one place, and John does his best to heal them. Issei. Promote tonight. His armor becomes thin, thrusters ignite, and he nearly breaks the sound barrier. He promotes to Rook, armor thickens and is far more bulky. He's in front of the hound and punched it right in the ribs. Its armor plates completely destroyed upon impact. Issei boosts repeatedly and punched large holes through the hound, repeated hooks to the face, crushing its bones and dividing its power and the dust crystals growing out of it. He ripped the Grim apart and exposed the real body. He separated the two. He threw the Grim suit into the air, hit it with a dragon shot and sent it far into the air. He promoted to Bishop and blasts the suit into oblivion. The twin energy beams are visible from Mantle and Atlas. Everyone looks at him in awe. He's more powerful than they ever knew. As the Grim suit was sent to oblivion, Issei walked over to the Faunas and watched him back away in fear. Issei. Death or surrender? Faunas. I surrender, please don't kill me. Winter gets up and pulls out a pair of handcuffs and arrests the Faunas. Issei dispelled the armor and his wounds have reopened. Everyone can see his dragon-like features. He's completely exhausted, but he's happy that no one died. He smiled and then collapsed. Yang and the others ran to him and tried to stop the bleeding yet again. They have no time to call for transport, so Y summons an Evermore and they lay him on top of it. They fly straight to Atlas and get him admitted into the hospital. The medics and transport arrives to pick up everyone else. The doctors seal Issei's wounds and fix the cauterized skin. They take another blood sample and some bone marrow and try once again to see what makes him so unique, but they can't do anything other than fix his bones and experiment on the dust scales. They can only hope that he recovers on his own. Issei is unconscious for the whole day. Blake, Weiss, JNPR, and everyone takes turns visiting him. At night Yang and Ruby are checking up on him. He's still unconscious, but looks like he's recovering. Yang. Issei, please wake up soon. Ruby. He saved my life by using himself as a shield. Yang. He saved me from Adam twice. Ruby. Drake, is he going to be okay? The gauntlet appears. Greg. He'll be fine, he's a dragon after all. Cinder's and Weiss's quick thinking saved his life. You two also helped. Thank you. Ruby. We have so many questions to ask you both. Greg. In time, young Rose. In time. The gauntlet disappeared. Yang and Ruby stayed by his side throughout the night, they didn't let go of him for even a moment. Tai, Raven and Crow told them to go to bed and rest, but they refused. Tai. You better wake up soon, kid, my little girls really care about you, they need you. Cinder went to visit him as well, the other kept his eye on her. Winter interrogated the silver-eyed faunas and didn't get much info, the faunas then suddenly started to deteriorate and turn into black goo, it died within minutes. Ruby and Yang are asleep by Issei's bedside, Ruby is twitching from a nightmare. Inside a nightmare. She sees the hound coming for her, she runs, no weapon and everyone around her is down, she falls, and the hound reached for her with its claws, Issei suddenly appears and acts as a shield, he falls, and the hound shows its host. Ruby is horrified as she doesn't see the faunas but her. Ruby. Mom. No mom. She sees her mother as the hound, she wakes up screaming, Issei and Yang wake up as well, they see Ruby panicking. Yang. Ruby. Issei grabs her arm. Divide. She calms down and goes limp. He divided her fear, but now he's the one feeling it, he tries to calm down using breathing exercises, he didn't notice the dust crystals growing on his body. The commotion wakes up Ospen who was asleep on the bench outside the room. He comes in, Issei's looking a bit panicked but calms down, Ospen heard Ruby screaming, yet he's the one looking panicked while she looks numb. Yang. Take deep breaths, Ruby, it was just a bad dream, you're alright, you're safe. Ospen. What happened? Issei. Ruby had a nightmare. Ruby. I'm okay, Issei. She immediately hugs him and cries on his shoulder. Yang finally noticed that Issei is awake. Issei. What kind of nightmare did you see? Ruby. Sniff, you're alive, thank goodness, cries Dot. Issei. Of course I am, Ruby. Salem can't get rid of me that easily. Yang. Glad to see you're awake. How are you feeling? Issei. I'm okay, are you two and the other alright? That thing did a real number on us. Ospen. Serious injuries have been healed thanks to Mr. Arc Semblance. He's using every bit of it to heal the minor ones too. Issei. That's a relief. Ospen. I'll tell everyone that you're awake. Glad to see you're recovering quickly, Issei. Issei. Thanks, Professor. Ospen leaves. Ruby lets go of him. Yang. Issei, it was you that saved me from Adam that day. Issei. Yes, I was the one in the red armor who killed Adam, I'm sorry. Yang. Why are you apologizing? Issei. I held back in every fight I've been in since I joined Beacon, and people got hurt, Adam hurt Blake, and he nearly had his way with you. Yang. Why did you hold back? Issei. Because powerful foes always come after me when they see my strength, I had hoped that by staying under the radar you guys would be spared too, I'm sorry. Yang. Getting hurt is a risk we take every second we go out there, and we failed to keep that hound from injuring you, sorry. Issei. Don't be. I feel like a hypocrite. I was the one telling the general and everyone to do what they should because they have the power, resources and the means to make things better, yet I let you guys get hurt when I should have just killed that thing. Yang. It's dead. Issei. What? Yang. The faunas, it died. Winter told us that it turned into black goo and died. Issei. Yang. And about my arm. She rolls up her sleeve. He sees yellow scales on her arm. Issei. Yang. You know why this is happening to me? Issei. Your aura, when you and Ruby connected to mine, you took some of the dragon's power, that's why your arm healed, and both of you got stronger. I would refrain from taking any more unless you want to turn into dragons too. Ruby. That does sound kind of cool. Issei. It is, but people will either be fearful of it or try to use it. I know the latter, so I don't want you two to experience that. You'll never be left alone as long as some indication of this power exists, and now everyone knows. Ruby. Issei. Issei. Yes, Ruby. Ruby. Dust crystals are growing out of you. Yang. It happened right after you grabbed Ruby and Drake divided something. Issei. Welp, when I feel strong emotions, this is what happens, it's an expected side effect of my experiment which has benefits. When Ruby woke up screaming, Drake divided her fear and calmed her down, but that fear has to go somewhere. Ruby. You felt it. Issei. Yeah, but it wasn't my fear, so I wasn't affected much, it did cause these to grow, however. He picks the dust crystals off his skin and scales. Ruby. These look exactly like the ones growing in the field. Yang. Does that mean you created these? The dust that's growing throughout Remnant. That was you? Issei. Yes. Speaking of Remnant, are the other kingdoms still standing? Ruby. Yes, they are holding their own. During our fight, the dark cloud that was coming towards us were all grim, that numbered in the millions. If it wasn't for the nuke, then Atlas and Mantle would be done for. Issei. Nice work, General. Saved both cities yet again. Weiss, Blake, JNPR and the others came to visit. Issei and Tai are the hot topics, the two red dragons. Hazel, Emerald, Mercury and once again Cinder came to see him too. Yang and Ruby were in their room later on. Ruby looked really upset, so Yang tried to cheer her up. Yang. So that laser eyes thing, that was pretty cool. Ruby. I guess did you see it? Her voice was rough. Fighting the hound, seeing everyone get hurt, worried about Issei, the nightmare that made her wake up screaming, no wonder her voice is rough. Yang. Yeah. Ruby. You know what that means right? Yang. Ruby I wouldn't worry about. Ruby. That's what happened to mom. Yang recalls what Raven told her on the hotel rooftops in Mistral. She started to cry as well as the image of Summer being turned into a monster and then also remembered that Raven saw what Salem did. Yang. Mom did you kill Summer? Did Salem turn her into a Grim? Ruby. When I saw its eye I knew Salem used to kill people with silver eyes like Maria then she met mom and did something different that's why Tyrion was after me. Yang. Ruby sniffed. Ruby. Mom didn't die a quick death she suffered for who knows how long sniff we don't even know how many people with silver eyes are left for all we know. I could be the last one just like how Issei is the last dragon fawn is. Yang. Maybe we should tell the world about those with silver eyes, if they are out there then they will step up. Ruby. Good idea also your arm. Yang. Yeah I'm part dragon I guess. Are you growing scales too? Ruby. No but instead of petals, I leave a trail of scales when I use my semblance. Yang. Huh. Ruby. But I do feel stronger, whenever I used my eyes, they used to hurt, but when I used them repeatedly yesterday it didn't hurt. Yang. You're getting used to it. Ruby. Or it's the dragon's power I wonder if we'll transform like Issei will. Yang. He said that we won't if we stop taking his power. Ruby. But he gave us power before. Yang. Must be a different kind. Ruby. I'm still wondering where he came from. Yang. Me too you still love him don't you? Ruby. I tried to tell myself that it's just a crush, I tried to let him go because you loved him first but these feelings won't go away. I don't want to be an obstacle. He's a great guy he used himself as a shield to protect me to protect us he didn't hesitate. Yang. Ruby. You can hate me if you want I would. She hugs her little sister. Yang. We can talk it out after we beat Salem and avenge mom. Ruby. Right we're huntresses and the people come first. Yang. Damn right sis. But Salem. She is in another hideout and smashing everything. Salem. My precious hound they killed it Cinder, Emerald, Mercury and Hazel defected to Issei at least I still have 2 allies out there. Looks like I'll have to make my move. She pulls out glass container with the remainder of Issei's blood. Salem. Just 1 drop gave my hound enough power to take them all on. Let's see what all of this can do. Ha 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 ha. Ruby later sent a message to all of Remnant, she used her powers on a regular Grim to show its effects, Maria joined her and gave a few lessons on how to use these powers should there be more silver-eyed warriors out there. It turns out that there are quite a few still left, they wore contacts to hide their eye color, they had secretly known that someone was hunting them so they stayed hidden, now they know that Salem is the one who's hunting them and they stepped up, they are mastering their powers throughout Remnant and are making a difference. Ruby is now currently making a new weapon, Crescent Rose 2.0. She modified it to become a dual scythe with attracting magnetic cores that pull one side to the other, Maria is proud of her. It's based on her original weapon, First Crow how Ruby is inspired by her. Currently Ironwood is planning his next move, Remnant is united, they are all standing against Salem, but his mind is a mess, Salem created the hound that gave Issei and everyone a challenge, also he's still wondering about Issei. Ironwood. If there's one hound then there could be an army of them, so strong it wounded Issei but he then stopped holding back powers, none of us knew he had just 2 or what are you? He's panicking, too many dangerous possibilities. He's considering using the lamp. His blood tests and bone marrow reveal a lot, his DNA isn't anything like they have seen before, but the medical applications could be endless. It could even make dust fusion with someone's body possible. Ironwood. I know what I must do. Later everyone has recovered, Issei's secret about becoming a dragon is out, even the world saw him and are thankful that they didn't face the hound. He was getting calls from old teams in Beacon which he didn't mind talking to but didn't say much. Bjorn's family was relentless, dozens of calls from every family member after they saw him fight the hound and support everyone, his parents are so proud. They never trained him or anything, but there he was, one of the few to graduate early and prove that he's earned his place as an Arc warrior. He looked a lot like his great-grandfather when he wields Crossy Amours. 1 week later. Everyone is gathered outside the vault. The Aesops are keeping Cinder, Mercury, Hazel and Emerald Company back in Atlas. Ospen. It's time to use the lamp, we find the crown and the staff to open a portal to it. Ironwood. Let's do it. Ospen. Jin. The lamp glows and blue smokes comes, it moves like it's alive, and what emerged is the spirit of the lamp herself. Everyone except Ospen is amazed by the sight. The guys who aren't single got their eyes covered by their respective girlfriends. Crow didn't though. Jin. Well hello again old man, it's been a while. Osman. Hello, Jin. It's good to see you again. Jin. Likewise. Got a question for me? Osman. Yes, where is the relic of choice? Jin shows them the location. They see the blue and golden crown on top a statue of the old king of Vale. Jin. The crown is hiding in plain sight, the statue is behind tempered glass, the reason no one stole it, because all the king's statues have the exact same replica. The one you guys want is in the Vale History Museum. Osman. Thank you Jin. Jin. Good luck. She is about to go back into the lamp when she pauses for a few seconds, her facial expressions didn't change, but her eyes show fear. She glanced at Issei and sees a large red dragon silhouette. Ironwood saw the look in her eyes as she looked at Issei. Osman noticed it as did Raven. Osman. Jin. Are you alright? Jin. Why yes. Raven. Something isn't right. Issei. So anyone want to summon the other spirit? Winter taps the spear and a spirit comes out. Ambrosius. Oh it's good to stretch my legs after all this time, hello everyone. Good to see you again Jin. Jin. Hello. They all greet him, the girls which once covered their boyfriends' eyes are now the ones getting their eyes covered by their boyfriends. Ambrosius. So what can I create for you? Not another floating city I hope. Osman. Two things actually, we need a two-way portal to all the kingdoms that are being attacked by Salem's forces. Ambrosius. I need specs, a reference to so on. They display a network of two-way portals. It looks like a spider's web. The center splits in all directions, each portal leads to an assigned location, there are signs which tell the name of the assigned location. Ambrosius. Interesting but it's missing something. Osman. Function-wise or looks-wise? Ambrosius. Function-wise. Wise. How about the portals don't allow anything grim related to pass through? People will be safe the moment they enter the portals. Ambrosius. Yes now that's clever. What else? Blake. The center, where is it located? Ambrosius. A space between spaces such as the vault itself. I must warn you though do not fall. Penny. May I suggest a barrier to keep people from falling? He looks at Penny. Ambrosius. Oh my you're an android and you have aura, I must meet the brilliant mind behind this, not in all my time could I have thought about such a possibility. What is your name girl? Penny. I am Penny Polendina Mr. Ambrosius. It's an honor to meet you. Ambrosius. The honor is mine. Alright so a barrier is a wise decision. Done. Osman. Not quite yet, there's one more portal that needs to be opened to a certain location. Ambrosius. Really? Just a small portal? Osman. To the relic of choice. Ambrosius. Fine. He snaps his fingers and a small portal appears, rwby, JNPR go through along with Osman. Jin and Ambrosius keep glancing at Issei who is smoking a cigarette. The two spirits fly a little higher and talk in a low voice. Ambrosius. Jin did you notice it? Jin. I saw it all. Everything has changed and I never imagined something like that to exist. That man I saw him I saw another dimension and everything in it and what he is along with what's inside of him. Ambrosius. I saw a true masterpiece, that Penny girl is interesting indeed, but that man the one with red wings, there's more to him a lot more what did you see? She puts her hands on his head and quickly shows him what she knows, there's no much information that he can barely keep up. The others go to the museum and get the crown and head back. Osman is almost crying tears of joy and it's a little awkward. Ren. Are you alright professor? Osman. Never better. Ambrosius. You there, the winged man. Issei. Yes. Ambrosius. Your gauntlet, would you please let me look at it? Issei. Sure. He lets him look at his gauntlet. Ambrosius. My goodness huff that's really something so much power 2 souls in one body. Everyone looks at the two. Crow. What does that mean? Ironwood walks over to Issei. Ironwood. We're about to find out. Issei. He sprays Issei with an anesthetic gas, Issei was caught off guard and accidentally inhaled it. He immediately felt weak and fell on his knees, he's feeling dizzy and he can barely move. Everyone except Ironwood and Raven are questioning the turn of events. John and Ruby ran to him and held him up. Osman. James what are you doing? Ironwood. Getting answers. Raven. About time. Issei. What are you talking about? Ironwood. I'm sorry Issei, you're a good friend and ally, but you aren't telling the truth. I had to make this anesthetic gas using your blood. I hope you understand. Raven. Jin. What have Osman and Issei been hiding from us? Jin. Forgive me. Osman. Jin. Issei. No. Wait. She clapped her hands and everyone sees the truth starting with Osman. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.